Hi Mark, thanks for your answer. Your question actually struck me as a little odd, I've got to admit. I'm going to explain why and then answer it as best I can. Your question was, why do humanists who understand the messages or beliefs of humanism turn to religion? See, the reason I find this odd is when you say about understanding the message of humanism. I think humanism is different from religion in that for most humanists it's just a label to put on a set of pre-existing beliefs and a group of like-minded people to join. Sure, there are definitions of what it is to be a humanist and whole humanist manifestos, but I don't know of anyone who walked into a humanist meeting with one set of beliefs and left with the humanist set. It's more that people discover that there's a term and a group which is okay with you being scientifically, ethically, humanely and probably atheistically minded. The oft-touted catchphrase of humanists, good without God, is usually a fine way to encapsulate what you already believed rather than some revelation. In religion, there is a knowledge transfer, and someone comes to a belief that they could not have held otherwise. For instance, when a teacher tells a young child about Jesus, they transfer knowledge to the child that it couldn't have known any other way. If a Muslim tried to convert you, they tell you about Muhammad and, unless you had your head in a few hadiths, you probably would learn something new. I view the idea of the message of humanism a bit odd, therefore. Sure, there is a message, which is basically you can be a good person without God, but usually people have got this idea and are just seeking like-minded people. So as for leaving humanism and joining a religion, I can only really speak for what would make me join a religion. Now there's a difference between believing the idea of gods, believing in a specific god someone presents, and with joining the religion. I would believe in gods if you presented me with good evidence for them. I would believe in the Christian God if you delivered specific evidence that could point only to him, as well as good evidence of the resurrection and of Jesus' divinity as well. But I wouldn't join Christianity. I've read the Bible and been to lots of Christian talks and decided that even if I thought Christianity was true, I wouldn't want it to be true because I find the God, the message and the whole story of Jesus inhumane and degrading to human life. There wouldn't be much I could do about it, of course, and it would still be true, but I wouldn't like it. If I decided Christianity was true, then I would most certainly stop being a humanist, because I see nothing good in humanity from a Christian perspective. It says that we are apparently full of sin, and the only way out is to love someone who, despite the fact that he could have redeemed us of this sin in any way he could think of, chose to do it by brutally sacrificing himself and making his followers find that act wonderful. For me to actively join a religion, it would have to be something considerably different from Christianity, or Islam with its call to submission to God, or pretty much any other religion I can think of. They all have ideas or concepts I find abhorrent, and while certainly if they were true I'd just have to accept it, so far none of them would have me enthusiastically signing up following some revelation. I tried Buddhism for a year or so, and whilst it's certainly softer and fluffier than a lot of the religions of the world, there's still a few problems with it. Other humanists may feel more or less strongly than me. I've heard some express a love for their old religion, and others nothing but contempt. Some say that if they found God, they'd happily return. Others would probably cry themselves into a corner, then end it all there. I'm not even kidding. I know someone who said they'd rather commit suicide than live in a world where God exists, because they find the idea so abhorrent. And this isn't just because they'd find that they couldn't do what they want. They're one of the most ethically and morally minded people I know. So whilst evidence of God would certainly stop me being a humanist, it would take a totally different type of religion to make me join up. I hope that answered your question, and my question to you is, do you think the church should have a role in politics?